I know, in the back place, you know, and
No, here's the thing.
I know, Mom.
If you, did you call me mom? I'm not your mother. All right, so here's the thing.
Wow, what do you say after that one? Brutal, savage, wrecked.
Welcome back to Time Served, the channel that scans doctor so you don't have to. We have a repeat offender that I could have sworn I had recorded her case. However, you are in for a treat today because she is in a new outfit and it is the color she should have been wearing months ago. And believe me, Judge does not miss the mark on this one. Check out this unbelievable road rager in Bexar County right here. And mark your calendars because on Wednesday, Time Live is returning. Comment on this video and get that algorithm flowing. Really helps out the channel. Like and subscribe. Set your notifications to all. Let's roll, nerds.
All right. I think I understand what we have here. In cause number 15-23902, you are Lindra Wallace. Yes, present with your attorney, Mr. Kimler, and the state's attorneys present, and the probation officer. A second amended motion to revoke unadjudicated probation has now been filed as of December 12th of 2024, which alleges that on October 24th, 2016, you were placed on, yep, that's true, on 10 years deferred or unadjudicated probation for the second-degree felony of robbery. This second amended has been filed after the first amended was disposed of on March 22nd, 2023, when you pleaded true to a urine sample showing methamphetamine. And what we did apparently was continue you on probation, I think, right? Is that what we did? And gave you another chance. Before that, there was a first MTRP filed on January 10th of 2022, which the defendant pleaded true to by committing Class B theft while on probation. So I think what we did was we continued on that one, then gave you another chance. Then a first amended shows up where in January of 23 you showed positive or meth. And I think I continued you on probation. And here a second amended has been filed that states that, and this was filed here on December 12th of last year, 3 months ago, that you failed to report to the probation office on or about May 8th, 2024 and July 17th, 2024 in violation of your deferred or unadjudicated probation order. Do you understand what it charges you with? Do you understand what you're charged with?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm not,
Okay.
I'm not going to ask you how you plead or anything like that. If you failed on one or more conditions of probation, your probation can be revoked. You can now be found guilty of the second degree felony and sentenced to no less than 2, no more than 20 years confinement in prison. Do you understand what you're facing?
Yes, sir.
Let me get some history here on this one. From probation, can you give me a little summary about what happened here on these failures to report? And did she turn into an absconder?
At some point, she did turn into an absconder. She was being supervised. That's how she ends up with me at this point. But
Okay.
she did have.
But yet a second amended motion, y'all decided that a second amended motion to revoke probation was necessary.
Yes, sir.
What months did she fail to Is it just these 2 months?
Yes, sir. At that time, yes, sir.
No, I'm talking about
Well,
since the last time we were all here on on the first amended motion. I know, I'm standing by what decisions I made on the first amended, but we have a second amended.
yes.
What are the problems, if any, that are added to what I'm reading on these two events?
Okay.
Any? Yes, ma'am.
In January of this year,
Yeah.
there was a review of status hearing, okay, that Ms. Wallace failed to appear. She contacted me and stated that she was in the emergency room or the hospital with stomach problems. She left a voicemail after the hearing. I have not been in touch with Ms. Wallace since then. I have not seen Ms. Wallace since January 2nd of this year.
Okay. So how often is she supposed to be reporting?
Twice a month.
Last motion to revoke was resolved. And I think it was, stand by, I guess it was on 3/22/23. That was the first amended she pleaded to.
Your Honor, there's also an administrative hearing for March the 6th of 25, which there's,
Hold on. I'm looking at August 9th administrative hearing. I think that would probably answer.
March 26th of 2025.
Hold on. Everybody. The defendant failed to report on May 8th, 24 and July 17th of 24, which is what's included in the second amended. Was last seen in the office April 10th of 24. Was she supposed to be reporting twice a month?
Yes, sir.
Well, why wasn't
Ms. Wallace?
May, the other second week in May, why wasn't June events the other week in July? And this was sent to me in August. So then August 9th, why weren't all of those included? And then has she just not reported since all of this?
Okay, so.
That's what I need to know.
Okay, with the second amended, all of that occurred prior to my supervision of Ms. Wallace. At that time, she was being supervised on a regular felony caseload by Mr. Ron Barksdale.
I know, but do you know the answers those to what she was doing while Ron was?
With Mr. Barksdale, she was only required to report once a month.
Okay.
Okay, and she came to my caseload
When?
in December of 2024. I require my probationers to report twice a month.
Okay. And that is number 4, report is directed by your probation officer and obey all rules and regulations. That's what she signed off on in 2016.
Yes, sir.
So you're saying,
and she didn't report, Your Honor, for December of 24 or February of 25
I've never been more shocked.
or,
She didn't appear for the review of status hearing on January 31st.
when was the last time the probation office has seen this lady?
Saw her.
And she would be reporting to you.
Right,
Since you took over in December,
right.
when was the last time you saw her, if ever?
January the 2nd, 2025.
Okay. And she was supposed to be reporting twice a month?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And this was from December. So we've got December, January, February, and here we are, March 19th, right?
Yes, sir.
So, and 2 a month?
Yes, sir.
So was 2 in, 2 in December?
Yes, sir.
So December, January?
One in January.
No, I know the one in, that's 2, then 3, then 5 in February, and 6 in the
Yes,
one in March.
she's
So
been
6
serving court
times.
dates for March as well.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Oh,
Those aren't alleged in the interim.
they're going to be, they're going to file a third amended motion. We'll deal with this and we're going to deal with it. And we'll take up what we have here, but there'll be a third amended motion. But you are in jail. You will be in jail until we can get this resolved.
You, sir.
Ma'am,
She's pregnant.
Right.
I'm sorry about that. The jail can take care of your medical needs, ma'am. You know, ma'am, I'm sorry, ma'am,
I just haven't came up being an issue.
ma'am, 20 years is what you're looking at. You're not, if you don't report, I'm not probation. All right, you want to just go in there until you're through and then we'll talk, because both of us can't speak at one time. This is the third or fourth time we've had you up. Nobody. 7 do I have? We've got 5,000 people on probation. I've got 2,500. And nobody has problems like this, ma'am. And if you don't, we learned in kindergarten not to interrupt. On my probation. That's my probation. We have no contact with you. And if you can't do anything else, you've got to report, which has been a symptomatic problem. And right now, you're, like we say, we don't know where you are. You're supposed to be reporting. Since December, 6 times you have failed.
Okay.
I'm sorry about that. But let me just say, pregnancy is natural event. We've got pregnant people on probation and you keep interrupting. One more time, you're in timeout, like we do to the second graders. We got people on probation who have medical needs, and we still work with them. That's not a problem. But I'm sorry, you're free falling. You're not on my watch anymore because I can't keep up with you. Our probation office, they are my right hand. You're not showing up. We don't know what you're doing. But this isn't like somebody who's just gotten into probation for the first time. You've been on probation for what? 8.5 years. Going on 8.5 years. You know what the rules are. Oh. Listen. You're going to be treated like everybody else in the same situation, man. You're in custody. We're going to know where you are now. When you're not reporting, when you're free falling.
One debt to society later.
Mark Bender, 1, 2, 3, 4 cases are reset as a request of defense. Okay, on this, Lindra Wallace.
That's the third amended in front of you now.
Okay. And it's just one case, right? 15-23902?
Right.
What are we going to do today?
I would suggest, she was on bond, Your Honor. I asked, she's going to jail now within 30 days. You asked the court to reinstate her into your.
We're not going to handle, we're going to postpone this hearing to another time?
Well, she's going to hear, please.
Oh, is she? Okay, all right. 15-23902 is now called Lindra Wallace. That's you?
Yes, sir.
Present with Mr. Kimler, your attorney and the state's attorney. Raise your right hand, ma'am. Do you solemnly swear or affirm any statement you make during this hearing shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Lower your hand. There is a third amended motion to revoke unadjudicated probation that was filed today. Does the defendant waive any additional time she has under the law for preparation?
Waiver 10 days, Your Honor.
All right. You've discussed this with her. Y'all are ready to move forward today.
Yes, sir.
Correct, ma'am? All right. And can we proceed in summary?
Yes, Your Honor.
In summary, this states that on October 24th, 2016, you were placed on 10 years deferred or unadjudicated probation for the offense of robbery. Is that true?
Yes, sir.
Is that true? Third amended, right?
That's correct.
Number 6. Has she entered pleas to the second amended already?
No.
Yes.
Do we need to do that?
Well, I think that's incorporated in the third.
No, it's not. Second amendment says she failed to report May 8th, July 17th, 2024. Third amendment begins with December 24th.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, as it's reiterated in the third amendment. Yeah. They reiterated this and the yes.
Okay. Okay. The third amendment includes the second amendment.
Yes, that's correct. But she needs to enter pleas to all
Stand by.
1 through 10.
Information in this document is true, correct?
And
Okay.
No, she entered a plea of truth in March of 23 to what's called the first amended. So she's so we're picking and whatever we did in 23, we did in 23. So we're beginning with number 5 and 6, the second amended and third amended, which are failures to report. Number 5 in this third amended motion to revoke probation, and it's under what's entitled second amended. This states, ma'am, that you failed to report to the Jefferson County Probation Office on or about May 8th and July 17th, 2024 in violation of your probation order to report. Is that true or untrue? And number 6, under the third amended portion of the third amended motion to revoke unadjudicated probation, what's entitled the third amended part. This states that you failed to report to the probation office for the months of December 2024, February 2025, and also failed to appear for a review of status hearing on January 31st, 2025 in violation of your probation order. Is that true?
True.
Are you pleading true to allegations 5 and 6 here in this third amended motion to revoke unadjudicated probation order? Are you doing this voluntarily, knowingly, intelligently, and because those allegations are true?
True.
Do you understand that a voluntary and knowingly made plea of true to one or more violations of probation, that is enough to grant a motion to revoke probation? Your probation can be revoked. You can now be found guilty and sentenced up to the full range of punishment. And this is robbery. I presume this is the second degree felony. And you were looking at no less than 2 nor more than 20 years confinement in prison. Knowing that, do you insist on pleading true today?
So,
Yes. I find you were pleading true voluntarily. You understand and appreciate the consequences of pleading true.
There's other allegations. You got to explain. Right, and they want to talk.
Oh, number 7. Number 7 also states you failed to provide documentation from your primary care physician verifying that you were hospitalized on January 31st of this year, and that was requested by your supervising officer to be provided within 30 days, and you failed to do that. Is that true?
true.
That's not true? Where's the probation officer? All right, we're going to have a hearing on all of this. Do you want to deal with number 7? There's the probation officer behind you. She's denying it. I want to know everything about the lady. I want to know if this is true or not.
The Mediquig, when she went to Mediquig for bleeding after the miscarriage, the medical document.
I didn't have it. If I would have got
Oh, you weren't the probation officer?
I requested. I didn't get a call back. I never got the documents.
Okay, but you had asked and you were required
I
that.
have verification that I asked. That's in her text.
Oh.
So
Do you remember that now?
She never.
I'm sorry, but I sent it to an email, but I'm not sure, but I do have that paperwork.
Did you go to Mediquig or not?
Yes, sir.
Why did you go to Mediquig?
Because I was having bleeding and they said I was pregnant and I was miscarriaging.
What date was that?
That was January.
And she was hospitalized on that day. Was that a date she was supposed to appear?
It was the
before-
day she was supposed to appear here in court.
In court.
When I came back from court, she had left a voicemail stating that that's where she was.
Okay.
And at some facility. I called her, asked her to call me back. She never did. Left a voicemail, sent her text messages. She never showed up. She never sent nobody on her behalf. I never got anything.
Do you agree with that? Huh?
Yes, sir.
Okay, then we'll have a hearing on it. Okay. Verifying you were hospitalized on January 31st, 2025, as requested by the probation office. You say you deny that. All right, are you ready for a hearing today?
Yes.
All right. You waive any additional time to prepare.
Well, Your Honor, let me see if I can get documentation of that. It does say primary care physician. I don't think Mediquick will be a primary care physician, but I'll talk to her or urgent care to see if I can go back and find this urgent care, just in abundance of caution, to see if I can find something from urgent care. But again, that would not be a primary.
You want me to reset that for tomorrow morning? Then, I mean,
I'm gonna be at the Martin County as well.
I don't know, we're gonna be picking a jury, I think, this afternoon.
Well, let's just reset it to the moment. Or so I'll ask if maybe if she could get a bond out, she could try to go about that.
And no, I mean, not reporting is everything. And she's got allegations of not reporting.
I'm gonna need a little bit of time.
How much time?
To track it down, like a week, just reset it a week. I'll see what I can find out from urgent care.
I'm gonna have to reset this for 3 weeks. Do you understand, man?
Yeah, I'll talk to you.
Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
I know, I wouldn't want to be in there a day, but that's what's going to take to get this done right. Because, remember, what you're looking at is up to 20 years in prison. And we got to make sure that we dot our i's and cross our t's on this. Now, I can go forward just on these 5 and 6 if you want to do that.
It's up to the board.
Okay, because I think this is more important than getting that documentation if she really went. And, you went, but you didn't get the documentation. That's not important to me.
We should go forward.
It's making sure. Okay. All right. Let's pick this up. So. She's pleaded true, to allegations 5 and 6, failing to report to the probation office as required. Go ahead. There's no agreement
You
here.
got an explanation of why? You want to tell the judge?
Yes, sir. I was just, I was going through a nice depression from just dealing with that from this.
Everybody on probation is in depression.
No, but that wasn't just really an excuse. I was just struggling, just, to try to get myself.
How much time does she have credit for, please?
What is that there?
You did?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. 281 days.
No, sir, it was just miscommunication.
What miscommunication? You said you.
No, I said on my end, I just,
Failure to communicate.
yes, sir.
What's that say?
Your Honor, we'd ask the court, again, she's been given opportunity after opportunity. The third amended motion to revoke, we'd ask the court to revoke her and send her to 5 years TDC.
If I might, the probation department should be willing to work with her. Do you have a problem trying to work with her to help her complete the
I tried to work with Miss Wallace. She had a schedule of report days 6 months in advance. So court says when they don't report, they're not being supervised. I can supervise if they don't report. And this is the third time she's failed to
Do you have a problem
report.
calling
Sticking
that
on-
status?
So it's the position of the probation department that you no longer believe in continued supervision.
Right.
What about with MH&R as well?
I see it. I found it.
MH&R. It's got mental health, counseling, it's not well,
I don't know how mental health counseling will get her a report.
depression.
Anything else?
No, I think you want to be continued on probation.
Yes, sir, I want to finish this, sir. I can finish this, sir. I don't want to come this far to not finish this.
Man, this is, few people get to the third amended motions to revoke probation. When there's a problem, they fix it early. This is 6 violations.
I can fix this, sir. I can.
You might be able to, but you hadn't proven it to me.
I can prove it, sir, please.
Ma'am, you've been on probation since 2016 to prove it.
Yes, sir.
The first amended, you pleaded true. Oh, I'm sorry. The motion to revoke probation, first that was filed in 22, you committed another crime. And it was similar. You committed the offense of theft class B. You are accused, and we placed you on probation for robbery when you threatened somebody while you were committing theft. So what did you do? You commit another class B theft. You came in 22, admitted that, and I left you on probation. I did. I said, okay, we're going to continue probation. Then, let's see, the first amended shows up. And in March of 23, you provided me a urine sample that had meth in your system. On January 20th of 23. What did I do? Kept you on probation again. So we put you on probation the first time. The second time we kept you on probation. This is the third time you fouled up. And what I did was, okay, I'm going to give you another chance. Third time. And then the failures to report show up. And here we are. You're asking for a fourth chance? Nobody gets it.
Sorry, I can finish this, sir.
You probably can. You haven't shown you can.
Can I please at least show this, sir?
You've been showing it since 2016, man. What's the state requesting?
5 years TDC.
Anything else?
Well, we would request, I think 2 is the minimum, so that's what, if the court's inclined to.
Anything else from anybody?
I have my baby in jail.
Is that right?
I'm sorry.
Yes, sir.
It's a terrible thing. No, but
I don't want to have my child here.
yeah, it's a terrible thing. Anything else? If not, I'm going to find that there is sufficient evidence supporting this third amended motion to revoke unadjudicated probation to granted by a preponderance of the evidence or greater, as allegations 5 and 6 have been proven true in this hearing. And because this is the fourth set of events in this case where the defendant has 4 separate times the defendant has pleaded guilty to the event or true to failures to follow probation. We have kept her on probation 3 times. And now she's asking for a 4th, and the court finds that it's not appropriate and just under these circumstances. Earlier, the motion, third amended motion to revoke unadjudicated probation is hereby granted, and your deferred or unadjudicated probation is hereby revoked. Earlier in this case, you had pleaded guilty voluntarily. You were mentally competent to do so. You understood and appreciated the consequences of pleading guilty. There was sufficient evidence supporting your guilty plea from State's Exhibit 1 admitted to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. I now find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt of this second-degree robbery, and you were hereby sentenced to confinement in the institutional division of the Texas Department of Criminal Justice to serve a term of 2 years.
Thank you.
You will be given credit for all time you have served. That's the minimum, the very minimum, which is understating the circumstances here, but under the circumstances regarding your physical situation, the court is sentencing you to the very minimum. Do you understand what has happened today now?
Yes, sir.
All right, good luck to you. Yes, ma'am.